Double scoring.
I'm Steve Ritchie, and I make pinball machines. That's what I do, and I try to have fun while I'm doing it. And my slides kind of got out of order, but we're going to go through this and get through it. Slideshows are kind of boring anyway, let's face it. This is a picture of, well, no, I'm not going to do that. First, I'm going to tell you about a little bit of my history, just a short history. In 1974, I was like a broke musician. I was in a band called Sweet Asylum, and we were like barely getting by. You know, we'd get a few gigs. You know, we opened up for, I think, you know, Les Dudek, and then the Doobie Brothers, and you know, money was thin. So I was looking for work, and I didn't know what I was going to do. I had recently gotten out of the Coast Guard and went to school a little bit, but not much. And I passed by Atari, and I walked in the door, and I thought, wow, this would be a great place to work. And I had a lot of electronics background, so I got a job there. And for the first year, I was working in, you know, in engineering, making things like, you know, burn-in ovens and real boring stuff. And anyway, they said they wanted to start a pinball division, and would I like to run the prototype lab? So I said, yeah, that's fine. And you know, I met these guys from Chicago, you know, and they were like big time from like Williams and Bally, and I had never been there or anything. It's like I didn't really know that much about pinball, other than, you know, I played them when I was a kid, and but I wasn't probably like, you know, a lot of people who start when they're 5 and 6 years old because they're in their parents' basement or whatever. I just sort of fell into it, and I worked in the prototype lab for about a year, and then I designed a game called Airborne Avenger. That's a mouthful, Airborne Avenger, especially when it has a spell out and you got a Airborne Avenger. It's huge. Yeah, but that's like a, you know, just a dummy trying to make a pinball machine and trying to be a game designer. The guys from Chicago that Atari hired did teach me how to lay out a pinball machine, how they went together, and I didn't think any of their designs were very fun, but, you know, but they got the orders to make the games all wide, much wider than anybody else's game, and really it's tough to make a wide body play well. I didn't know it then, you know, but I know it now. Anyway, make a long story short, they let me be a designer. I worked on Airborne Avenger with Eugene Jarvis, and this was Eugene's first game. Eugene, by the way, is a very brilliant programmer and a gamesman, an unbelievable character and caliber. He's like he's a video god. I mean, come on. So we worked together there, and we did Superman, and I left before it was done because I got an offer to go to Williams. And this was a real pinball company in Chicago, and it was very exciting to me. They offered to pay me twice as much, and they were going to fly me out. At the same time, this president is nice. His name is Mike Stroll. He's charismatic. He's got some a great personality, and the whole thing feels like smarm to me. But by the time I know it, it's like my household goods are packed up and being moved to Chicago, and we're on the plane, and hey, this is really happening. So while I was on the plane, I came up with a game design. I would say, I don't know, one of the most inspired times that I ever had in my life. And so I laid out Flash on the on a napkin, believe it or not. And then by the time I landed, I had a game in mind. So that was the beginning of my career at Williams. It lasted for 22 years. I did many games. The last game I did, there was No Fear, I think in 1996 or 97. You know more than I do. I don't remember. I'm an old man now. Anyway, about 1996, the writing was on the wall for me. Okay, I would do my best work, and the pinballs would not sell to the numbers we were selling. And, you know, it wasn't pleasing me, but it felt like, you know, I wasn't making the most of what I could do for Williams. And so I started looking for a job back on the West Coast. I thought I'd go back home, and I started shopping around. I walked into Atari again, you know, and they weren't interested in pinball designs, but I thought I would produce a video game, and I did. I walked in, we almost made a deal, and then Williams bought Atari right in the middle of my deal. So there was no secret. It was blown, you know. the president, Neil Nicastro, and Ken Fidesner are in this office laughing, and they're going, well, just go there and go ahead. You can take a video project. So I did a game called California Speed with a team with virtually no experience. Great guys, but it's like the people at Atari were like amazed that, wow, you had a game go into production? Yeah, a couple. So that was the big thing, was just to get a game into production, and because the people that worked on my team really never had. And California Speed did well, and then at the same time, they were working on Pinball 2000, and Pinball was really sucking wind at Williams. And, the heart of the company was not in pinball anymore because it wasn't making any money. So we all got canned one day, and it was like a big shock to me. I went home and tried to figure out what I was going to do for a few months and came up with a redemption game. Anyway, make a long story short, I ended up talking to Gary Stern, and I'm back making pins at Stern Pinball. It's a great place. We're having a good time. Most of the best people are still there, in this group. They didn't always work at Stern, but they came from Williams. They came from Gottlieb. People that were very talented showed up, and also, very good friends of mine. This is my slideshow, and it's a little out of order, but, we're going to play it by ear here. I really don't like serious slideshows, but I'll do it for a bit. This is the last Whitewood of Spider-Man, and you can see our gray characters. It's totally boring, actually. Wow, this is really out of order. This is called a drill plate, and this is really interesting, I'm sure, especially to ladies in the audience. This is where you take a drill, and follow the line, and all the drill holes, in that particular size. If the operator just puts the drill in the hole and follows the line, all the holes will be drilled in the correct place after it's laid on the play field. Really boring. Okay. This is Dennis Nordman, for those of you who don't know him, okay? Dennis is the designer of Pirates of the Caribbean, Party Animals, Party Zone, Wheel of Fortune, lots of games, okay? And he's a great big dude, and he kind of talks like this. And, hey, Steve, I stuck my fingers in a snowblower. Wow, Dennis, you did, man? Wow, yeah, like 2 of them almost got cut off, Holy mackerel. You're not going to make fun of me, are you? No, I won't. No way, Dennis, no way. And that's to all the people that didn't buy Pirates, okay? All right. Now, see, this is one of the off-the-wall things that I do. It's like, if you're going to make a cool game, I mean, I don't know how anybody could make a cool game that's exciting and, feature some adventure if you don't participate in some adventure yourself. So I'm somewhere there in the third row. See me right there? Anyway, this is a motorcycle race, and they let one row go off at a time, and, they fire this big shotgun, and that whole row takes off, and then you wait like a minute, and then the next group goes off. It's called a hare scrambles, and the course is about 7 miles long. You got to do 6 laps, and in 3 hours, you're more tired than you've ever been in your whole life, no matter what. Your tongue's hanging out. And that's to everybody that didn't buy Wheel of Fortune, okay? Yeah, his fingers are still hurting. Actually, they're all off now, and he's okay. I want to tell you, he's a great guy and a great friend. How did that get there? Oh, I'm going backwards. Look at that. This is a picture. Look at that sign. See, this is a corner. I just got this the other day. This is like George Gomez sent it to me. It's like Louis J. Nicastro Way, and it's like, that's the old Williams building right there. So the city of Chicago honorarily named the street Louis J. Nicastro Way, and that's a fact. That's happened today. And then George writes me an email with this picture, and he goes, yeah, and it's a dead-end street right down the end of Roscoe. There's a big cement wall where, like sometime in the 90s, 2 people were in a car, and they hit the wall at 90 miles an hour. They were killed instantly, and the river's right on the other side of the wall, but their car did not go through the wall. All right, this is Dwight Sullivan, and you saw pictures of him before. He's working on our new game together, which I like to call 23 and a half because the show has been delayed. So we're working on 20. Pretty soon it'll be 23 and 3/4, and And everybody's looking at me. You have to go on the web to find out what I'm talking about, maybe. I'm not allowed to say the name of the game. I can't tell anyone that the real name of the game is 24. Okay, all right. All right. This is in my town right here. See, this is what we do for fun. That's the Papa Murphy's Pizza guy passing out like coupons and stuff. And this guy's, on his horse. Like, don't worry, I don't have many of these. This will crack you up. That's a California Highway Patrolman. That's like, the car's got a big motor, and it's like the back tires he sprays with WD-40, and about every 100 yards on the parade route, burns rubber, and it's a very weird thing to see, a cop doing that. It's like exhibition of speed. It's a crime in California. Well, it's a misdemeanor. So that's what they do there, okay? And then this girl, wow, what can I say? It's like, she's having a good time, though, I'll tell you right now. And this is, I don't really know why that's in there. In fact, my wife is in the audience right now, and she's pretty mad that she's in the... Actually, she was mad at me because I yelled at her. We just got the car. It's a used car. And she closed the door too hard, and the glass in the mirror fell out, and I yelled at her. And then she was mad at me for yelling at her, and I don't get it. I had to, put the glass back in, but it's my fault. And so I noticed that I'm a bad man. And she has a relative that often says this: men are no good, and the only good one is dead, and even he was no good. Anyway, this is Shelley Sachs. Shelley Sachs runs the shipping department at Stern, and she's also like Gary's personal secretary, and she takes care of me too, and everybody who gets flights and stuff and all that. Great lady. This is Mark Galvez, and my goal here was to take pictures of people as complimentary as possible. It's like, Steve, you got like a Mountain Dew or something, man? Anyway, he does the dots. Excellent job on all the games. And this is sort of a, close-up picture of, Doc Ock. He's kind of beat up because he only has 3 arms left. I don't know what happened in the last one. This is an interesting shot only for the real pinball geeks in the audience, because that ramp right there came off a wooden mold, the one that was not sanded or polished yet, and you can see how rough it is. It's just slammed together. Excuse me. I don't know if you know this, but I'm kind of a bashful guy. It's like, this is killing me to be up here. All right, this is like... The next section of this is, this is all inside Stern. This is behind the doors where you don't get to go in. If you go on the pinball tour at Stern, you don't get to go in here. But what you would see is a lot of trash everywhere. It's like, the object is like right here. Everybody has to go like this. If 2 people go by, you have to go like that. You can't walk 2 abreast anywhere in the building hardly. And this stuff is. I'm sitting right there now. That was my new office right there. And now they moved that wall over there, and I have like a closet. Okay, so that's it. Once I had a mansion, but pinball shrunk now. It's only one company, so. This was my office in the accounting department, and it's like 3 ladies, and they're nice. I talk to them every day, but I'm in there designing, and everybody else is real far away in the engineering department. That's okay, because I only show up now and then. These are some of the ladies. This is, that's Shelley, and that's me saying, hey, could you get us another supersized French fries? What do you think? Anyway, my Porsche Carrera does 165. I lost my license, now I don't drive. Okay, but I really do. I didn't lose my license. I got away at high speed. I've since sold this car. I got really close to getting in trouble. Why is it there at a pinball thing? It's just something I do. Ask around. I can't help it. This is Shirley Zebro, another Stern employee, a great person. And this is her daughter, Andrea. This is the conference room. This is where it really gets interesting. The conference room has like 12 seats, and Gary likes to start meetings like at about 11:30, quarter to 12, right? When you're starting to get hungry. And you're sitting there and people are talking about, blah, 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 blah. And pretty soon you don't hear anything. Nobody's really hearing anything. They're thinking, food. I want to eat right now. The meeting will be over like 1:30. Some stuff will be done, but you don't remember what it was. You never do, unless you wrote it down. Okay, right there. Well, here, this is kind of an interesting thing here. I don't know if it'll work. It might. No, not from here. This is Spider-Man. It was a very early light array here. I think I have a drawing of it. Anyway, so what? Okay, this is like the conference room right down there on the floor. Well, this is Joe Blackwell. That's it, yeah. And he's with Lyman Sheets. This is the first night that we put out Spider-Man, and see the plastics are all red, and it's got preliminary junk on it. You know, we don't wait. So if the game's ready if it's playable, we put it out there and try to test it. So it's not really a finished game, but this is what we do because we're in a big hurry all the time. More of the interior space where you can't walk two abreast. This is a hallway, like the major hallway, and it's kind of, this is pretty much, actually it's like, I like to title this picture "Punishment for Spider-Man." It's like, I have other pictures that show you why it has that name. This is more crap. We have a lot of crap at CERN. This is the prototype lab where you're expected to build a pinball machine up. But where? On the workbench? Or maybe I should just take it back to accounting and put it together there. It's like there's no room here. It's like, it's a train wreck. More train wreck, same room from the other end. Nice lady, though, Phyllis Rosenthal. This is John Rothermel. He's, I'm not a racist at all. I love everybody, okay? That's how it is. But he's like half French and half German, and this is a very bad combination. It's also a very good combination. It's both. It's like interesting. Anyway, right here, he's saying, "What do you want?" Okay. And that's all in here. Get out. That's it. He's very busy working on a device, and it's like, but if I say to him, "Hey, you want to go out and smoke a cigarette?" Yeah. He's ready to go for that. He's another neatnik, too. This is the rest of his office. He's careful and, organized. We're all organized. This is the, I forgot who's, I know whose that is. This is priceless. This is Dennis Nordman's desk, and you can't see it, but right here is like a bicycle exercise machine with the seat taken off, and he's got wire going from here to around his chair so he can sit there and pump on the bicycle thing while he's drawing a game, supposedly. I can't imagine really doing anything with the keyboard going like that. It's like, what could you really get done? I'm picking on Dennis a lot. More mess, and even more mess. This is like the mess of the guy who runs engineering, Ray Tanzer, a dear friend and a great guy. He was also a pretty good game designer when he was designing. Ray's, this is Lyman Sheets' office. Yeah, this is another train wreck. There's this futon, which you could not pay me enough money to go in there. It's like basically it's like a laundry hamper in there. It's nasty. And that's Lonnie Ropp. Lonnie Ropp is like a very good programmer, excellent, great guy too, love him to death, but he's like a little blurry. That's his life. Thank you so much. I should have asked, but you think of everything. Anyway, Lonnie Ropp is like a great programmer, and he's talking to Lyman here, and there we have another slide that's out of order of the Spider-Man Whitewood. It's pretty together, but Spider-Man is not mounted on that game. It's really not mounted on any game because the only place I could find to mount him was in a bad spot, and where his body gets mounted is real nasty. Green Goblin prototype. For this one here, Lyman turned around a telescope and looked at me, picked me up with tweezers, and put me on the playfield. And then that ramp is it's a long walk. It's steep, too. See what I mean about Lonnie being fuzzy? He's just kind of fuzzy. Look at the logo. See, that's clear, but look at him. He's kind of blurry. He can't help it, though. This Lyman, he's reveling in his mess. I go in there, God, man, it smells really bad in here. Do I have to actually work the game? And he goes, yeah. Okay, this is it. Remember I talked to you about the conference room? Okay, that's the dead rat stain. Okay, and it's like, I have other views. Look at that, It's still there right now, I guarantee you. The carpets are so nasty. Anyway, he got his tail cut off. That's why you don't see a big wet spot there by the tail. I'm not sure who did it, but the dead rat stain, that's it. And this is Mark Alves again, after having his Mountain Dew. He's awake. What were we talking about? Oh, Gary Stern. This was taken about 5 years ago. And Gary's a character. He's like, I'm really glad he's around, but he's really a character. This is his office. I don't know why I took pictures of it, but another neat and organized guy. Actually, he is organized. He's an amazing dude. He's like, he can handle like 200 things at once, and 195 will be wrong. Okay, this is like the back corner of his office. He has some very neat, artifacts of games that they've made. This picture down here is signed by Max Groening for Simpsons. I wish I could zoom in on this. This guy has his hand and just one finger sticking up. I never knew what it meant, but it's like a picture on Gary's wall, And this is Sheridan Alsler. He's like, he doesn't want to look at me because he doesn't like me. And he's a technician and very good. Barry Alsler's brother, by the way. Barry Alsler's famous for many pinball machines. I can't remember one, though. That's how we are, though, about each other. I'm just kidding. Shelley Sachs' office. This is Jolly Backer. You know anybody else named Jolly? Jolly, wow, Jolly, what a name. I'd kill myself if I had that name, Jolly. Damn, Jolly. Oh, look, Jolly did Black Knight. Okay, nah. Anyway, he's a great guy. Great guy, great salesman, and a really good friend. We like to drink together. This is more trash. Yeah, we got trash. This is Lonnie's desk. No mistaking it. It's organized. This is Keith's couch, but you can't see the couch really. Remember, this is inside Stern. That's what we're looking at here. Things you really wanted to see. This is in Keith's office also. And another dark picture. I wish I could crank it up, but that's it. This was taken in the factory after they, the games come in, and the first time we shoot cabinets, there's an endless row, and we'll do 20, and they'll be like, Gary will come out and go, I don't like the red. Somebody else will say, the blue looks too dark, and we'll sit there and argue it. It's one of the few things that he'll actually pay attention to what I have to say about. He won't pay attention to much else. But it's like, I think he thinks that I might know what looks good, but I really don't. Look at some of the back glasses that have been on my game, like Flash. What's that? What is that? I mean, it's a nice game and everything. It was fun to make, but the back glass. Connie Mitchell, please. Now we're going backwards again. Some close-ups, but it's hard to see here. This is ramps. I'm not sure. It's like there's two of each one, okay? That's all I have to say about that. And these are the web slingers. Interesting pieces. This is a guy doing like final tests. There's an interesting picture. Another one. Hey, this is the game on test again. But it's like so dark you can't tell really what's going on. It really isn't on my computer, but Spider-Man. It was a lot of fun to make. Wow, some interesting things. Lyman and I had a few battles in this game. I always have battles with everybody. Ask, around. That's how it is. We have battles, and hopefully, whenever we have battles, the game wins. Not someone's ego or maybe bad taste, whatever. And this is the night we put it out again. That was 40 pounds ago. I'm proud of that. This is it. Punishment for Spider-Man. That's what I like to call this picture. It's like, I know, it's like it didn't work out. It's like, how could I mount him like that? Who would do that? Nobody. It's like, I couldn't afford the character anyway. It's like, well, this is Lyman at work. He's like doing code. I'm talking to him and he's ignoring me. And that's the first off, Venom character, not painted, pretty boring. Same thing with him. He looks awful. I don't know what he's made of even. I hate to venture, I guess. Close up of the playfield. This is like the first game that came off the line, and I didn't have any pictures, and I had to go home like the next day. It was a really weird thing. We just got the game into production, and that was the end of my stay at Stern. So I took a bunch of pictures. Here's the infamous orange spinning target sticker. I don't know why they bother. Why don't they just wait until they get the real sticker? Because it isn't going to go anywhere, right? Until they put the real sticker on. more pictures. I really like, this is Kevin O'Connor's artwork, and he really did a great job on the playfield and the back glass. I like it a lot. A sticker that has to go on the back. There's so many little details. I'm going to show you those in a minute if you care. Or I could just end it right here, right now. I don't mind. Okay, all right. Again, more pictures. It's like, I don't know. I don't like that joint at the hip thing. I never did. It's like, but it's playfield art. Yeah, these are all in series. They were broken up into special groups so that I could talk about them, but it's like, this is actually, this game is mounted in a carrier that travels along a non-automated, assembly line that operators actually take the whole thing and push it along we don't have any automation. They just push it. And Motor 3 bank. Now this is something interesting. This is my dirt bike. This is a KTM 525 EXE 2006. It's a wonderful machine. I can tell you guys are interested. This is my mechanical engineer for Spider-Man and for 23 and a half, the number I can't say, so we're going to say 23 and a half. This is Mike Ridelble, and he hasn't been to the dentist in a while. And he's an incredible mechanical engineer. He's great with SolidWorks, his 3D program, and he makes my life a hell of a lot easier. He can show me clearances on parts and devices and in 3D. I work in 2D. I could work in 3D, but then I'd be doing his job, and so I'm not going to do his job besides mine. It's plenty. This is Ray Tanzer. He has a serious look on his face again. He's like talking to Sheridan, and this is more serious. This isn't serious at all. And that's not directed at you guys. That's directed at me, clearly. This is John Board, the guy that did, remember, uncomplimentary as possible? Remember that? Okay. It's just like, hey, Steve, man, you got any more of that stuff you had last night? Yeah, I do, John. Here it is, man. I don't know. It's exciting. And when I'm done, I love to go back to work refreshed and, I don't know, inspired. And that's the trail where I just came from. That one hole there, it's kind of like you got to rub your shoulder against the brush when you go around there, or you could go down the mountain. Yeah, another bad picture of dirt bikes. Okay, this is Dwight. He's busted here for watching a video during work hours, and it's like, but it's a video from 23 and a half, and he's doing a little research. And this is Hernando Furtado, our Ecuadorian expert. He was also employed by Williams for 20 years, an old friend, and he works in production. And a lot of our employees are Spanish speaking, and he acts as an interpreter often, but my Spanish has improved too. And anyway, great guy, pinball man. And we're back to this again. I'm not sure why that's there. This actually might be the first slide. It says so, but my slides, this is like, wham! That's what he's getting ready to do. I'm not going to... Actually, that's a tool that puts little dimples on each end of slots for switches so the ball doesn't get stuck on the end of the slot. So he's supposed to do that with a big hammer like that. And this is Barty. I'm a kind of a deaf guy. It's like... they were trying to tell me her name, and she has a very thick Indian accent, so I couldn't understand her. She said, just think of going to a party. That's my name, Party. But, later, like 2 years later, I found out it was Barty, Bhardi. That's her name. And she works at Final Test, and I very much depend on her. She'll come and tell me, hey, these guys aren't building the game right, and I'll go out there and we'll get things straightened out. A special lady. I don't know how that got in there again. This is Doc Ock after about 200 plays. This was a very brittle plastic, though. His fingers are all busted. One arm's gone. He's a wreck. Oh, yeah. This is the... well, let's see. Maybe I have this is an Irish daycare center. My son's the one on the right. We should drop him off there. He was a happy kid, I'll tell you. Anyway, these are the San Jose Vampire Pinboys, and they all have red eye, but I don't. You know, it's like I don't know how it happened. And this is Jackie Neas, sweet lady. She's like in charge of billing and pays me for expense reports and says, "You can't deduct that." Sticks her tongue out. It's Mr. Wu, a character in the factory. A very great guy. Good work. He retired recently. "Good morning, Mr. Steve." That's what he says to me every day. I say, "Good morning, Mr. Wu." The lab. This is Green Goblin trying out some new weird toilet. No, this is like, this is Oleg's office. Oleg, I'm not sad, you know. He found another job somewhere. We didn't get along. He's a mechanical engineer. And this is Phyllis Rosenthal, another sweet lady that I've known for like 30 years. It's like she used to wire prototypes at Williams, and you know she's a fiery lady, let's say. Okay, I can't tell you what she calls me. It's not nice. I call her Granny B, and you can guess what the B stands for. Okay, she doesn't mind though. There's Spider-Man being punished again. Steve, put your clothes back on, man. This is Rob Blakeman. Very meticulous. He's a mechanical engineer also, but he's mostly like, he does the work at Stern, like sort of I don't know, he's like the rules guy. Hey, you can't draw it like that, you have to draw it like this, or use this symbol, whatever. Great work. And again, this is the San Jose Vampire Pinboys, all with red eye. One of them's here. Mike. Mike is here. Are you in the audience, Mike? All right, thanks. Do you think of yourself as a vampire? Hey, all right. This is, what's his name again? Rick Stetta, that's right. Good player, great player. A shot of Keith here standing next to, God, I don't know. It's Simpsons. This is cool. This is the precarious but always working networking system at Stern. It's a, see the top of the door there on the left? It's like up really high. It's like, wow, how do you work on that? And why is it up there? I don't get it. You know, it could be on a lower shelf how about on a shelf? That'd be cool. No, this is me. Remember I told you the gun goes off, you know, and it's like I'm kind of deaf. So I'm asking the guy next to me, was that the gun? And, you know, but yeah, it was. And he wasn't even there to ask, actually. I was about last off the line. This is Ray Tanzer's office, and another meticulously neat guy. More pictures of the lab. Hey, I don't know why he's there so much. I'm sorry. I'm tired of looking at Dennis. And this is Lyman Sheets. He's got this beloved coffee cup in his hand, and that's a Caribou coffee, yum coffee. You know, I'm on my 15th today, so I want to talk a lot. What do you think, Steve? Okay? I have to go, Lyman. Another shot of the Spider-Man prototype. I think we're back to the beginning. That's it for my slideshow. I'd be happy to talk about anything you guys want to talk about. Mics are back there, and I'm going to need a translator in my headphones, so if you excuse me for just a second. Here's one.
Actually, two questions. When we were at California Extreme last summer, they said they had a big guy that did some rather extreme testing on pinballs. I wonder if you ever got the thrash on some of your designs. And secondly, when's MagnaSave coming back?
Right, at California Extreme, there was a big guy that was getting a bit heavy with some machines. Did he get heavy on any of your games?
He was a person at Atari. He was a tester at Atari.
He was a what for Atari? Oh yeah, this is going to work. Actually, I don't know. You know, it's like, and my games aren't there. They all belong to somebody else. You know, it's like, what can I say? It's like, if people abuse games, maybe I don't understand the question.
When he was testing them, he was a bit heavy-handed, is that what
Well, they would, for example, they said on the Hercules machine, they said you need to test the coin mechanism. So he took a screwdriver about that long and just hammered it in there and said, "Oh, your machine's broken." You know,
Wow.
something like that. I mean,
It sounds like a character, you know. It's like,
Right.
luckily we're not all like that in the pinball world.
Thanks.
The other question was, were you going to see Magnusade again?
Maybe. It's like, it depends. Okay, when you get older, I've done a lot of games. I think 25 or something. I feel self-conscious about repeating myself, although I do. You know, there's only so many good shots on a pinball play field. You know, the flippers are locked in position, and I don't like to mess with that. I think, you know, how can I say this? I can say that I'm not a fan of Wheel of Fortune because of the bottom. And as it turns out, we made fewer of them. As it turns out, people other than you guys, you know, well, the home and the home game people and the collectors are a huge part of our business, no question. But we're still trying to make money on the route, and it's come to about a 50-50 split now. So maybe I might do it again. There is a patent on MagnaSave, but it's long gone. It's the protection is gone. So maybe that's my answer.
Sure.
Anyone else?
Hi. I'm interested in hearing about your design process. You mentioned you do most of your work in 2D. Do you do it on paper or software, and how do you make games fun and stuff?
What's your design process for games? Do you do it on paper? Do you use software? What's the 2D?
I use AutoCAD, and I'd be happy to show you guys a drawing if you would like to see it after this. And the process, if you care, and that's fine. I can pull that up quickly, and I often work on this computer when I'm in my hotel room, and I do have some drawings that are Spider-Man and the process. AutoCAD is a CAD design system. It lets me do draw just about anything, and scientifically, in other words, it's very, very accurate, and it translates to wood easily, and I'll show you AutoCAD.
Second question is, how long does it take to get from AutoCAD design to wood or to something you can play?
Actually, I heard that. Well, it takes me about a year to do a game. I start with a drawing, and on AutoCAD, and I use AutoCAD until the last day the game is on the line and make changes and corrections. It's the same drawing. The drawing always grows. At first, I start with a play field and usually a side view of the cabinet on each side, and then a couple of other games for reference. Like if I want to grab a triangular insert, I can just reach over and go and bring it over to my game. Okay, some of the common parts I just grab. The basic layout of the playfield, where the holes are drilled for the flippers and the kick-up mechanism, that's all standard. So I always start with that stuff, and the game grows. I end up with a plastic sheet on the same drawing, and any ramps that I draw, I can only draw them in 2D, but I have to draw them in 3D to show the mechanical engineer how and what they're supposed to go, where they're supposed to go, and what angle, and things like that. It takes a year. It takes me a year. I've done them quicker, but No Fear was done in 9 months, and I could have done one more pass on that game. I think maybe to widen one shot. I mean, this is some wish I have, but it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen, but I'm not ashamed of No Fear. It came out all right.
Do you ever use visual pinball to make pinball mock-ups to test games out?
No, I don't have it because... Why is that? I don't know. I don't... I'm not sure that... I mean, maybe visual pinball is great. I've only seen it a couple times. I don't go looking because I don't want to be influenced by it, and I really don't want to program like that, mostly because, not that it isn't fun or doesn't work, but I might get into some predictable attitude, and I don't want that. I just want to be... I want to be loose for whatever I'm working on, I guess... if the ball didn't bounce right, on visual pinball, maybe I would change something that might have been cool later on. So I make the game with all the warts in the beginning and then, massage it and change it until it plays nice, and in most people's opinion. Except Dennis Nordman's. I don't care what he thinks. or Pat Lawler, come to think of it.
This question might be too broad, but I thought I'd bring it up because it was actually brought up by somebody else earlier. Is how do you make a table fun?
How do you make a table fun?
How do you make a table fun? All right. A pin table? Like the getaway? Okay. How do you make it fun? Is that the question?
How do you get fun into a game?
Okay. First thing I look for is like opportunities to play up something in terms of audio, in terms of what the ball does, the ball stopping on the magnet, the power of the sun in the palm of my hand, places where we can be dramatic and entertain the player. It might be like I don't know, a really smooth shot, and it's the shots on pinball for me are based on anybody can do it. Yeah, I mean, it's go play a game of pool, and just think of it requires a similar kind of precision as pinball. How do you make it fun? I don't know. You got to come up with some fun stuff. Sometimes you need a funny voice. Play better. You need something. You make it. You make. You try to create scenarios and excitement. I didn't really answer your question, but maybe a little hint of what's going on.
Do you have a personal favorite of any of your own designs that you're most happy with? And
I'll tell you, I just went out there and played Firepower, and it's like such a simple game, and it's really elegant for that. And it was a fun game, and I did pretty good. I mean, for not playing it for 20 years, other than shooting, I got 2 balls locked up. That's pretty cool. And that's because the plunger shot didn't work to lock the 3rd ball on the top. Off the gate, bang, boom. That's how I usually thumb it right there, and it would go in the hole. But it didn't work on that game. I like that. I like Firepower. I liked, I guess, Black Knight 2000 is a pretty special game, although when you look at it, it's kind of dorky design. If you're on the bottom play field, you're dead meat, And if you stay on top, you're the king of the world. And I really loved making the game. It was so much fun because it was the first game really where we got into, and I wrote tunes. I shouldn't say I wrote some basic riffs, and guys like Brian Schmidt and Dan Fortin turned them into huge songs. But I did write the lyrics. Give me your money. Where does that come from? Give me your money. I don't know where that comes from. But anyway, it's like I do like Black Knight 2000. I like Star Trek Next Generation. Right now, though, the best game I ever played was Spider-Man. Because I have one in my house, and it's like I love it with a shaker motor. I can't explain it. It's pretty exciting, and I love them all, but I don't really have a favorite. I got favorites from every other designer, though. From Jim Petla, Mata Hari.
Yeah.
From Dennis Nordman, Whitewater. From Brian Eddy, not Medieval Madness. I like the game. It's okay, but I really like Attack from Mars. It's a masterpiece, in my opinion. It's a great game. It was designed down the hall for me, and I watched those guys make it, and it's a great game. From Pat Lawler, probably Addams Family. From Greg Kamick, definitely What's Its Face. I can't remember right now. This has been happening to me lately. Greg Kamick, let's see. Tell me some names. The names of the games Greg Kamick has done. Captain Fantastic. That is my favorite game from him. Yeah, and from Trudeau. I guess it's Creature from the Black Lagoon. I didn't play it much. No, my favorite game from him is an obscure Gottlieb called Hollywood Heat. I love that game. That's my favorite game from John Trudeau. Who else? John Papaduke, Theater Magic. Good piece. Made money. That's the whole thing. It's like games that make a lot of money are very important to the pinball business. Now it's 50%. You guys are very important to the pinball business. It's like if we don't sell pinball machines, we're not going to be in business. But I make no predictions. A colleague once has stated that pinball only has 5 years to go. I don't believe that, and I hope you don't take it to heart because it's just not true. I can't imagine it. And you know, Gary and Stern we're cranking them out. We're going to make probably more machines than we have any other year this year, and that's even though 23 and a half got delayed. He's like he also has a redemption business to support the thing, and he's not just going to let it die. Okay, Gary likes to make money too. You know, it's like important for our factory, but he likes pinball, and yeah, a product line is a product line. Okay, I'm done. That's it. The lights came on. Thanks a lot. Okay, all right. He's turning him out again. We're doing something strange with him. Oh, look at this, the light show. Awesome, dude. Thanks a lot. All right. Just kidding. It's cool. Any more questions? Yes, there is.
I was wondering if, is there any TV or movie license that you would really like to make a game on, or is there a sequel that you would really like to make?
Is there any license that you would like to work on, or any sequel you would like to make?
Roller games too? No. Let's see. First of all, I really don't have an option outside of Stern because other people own all those trademarks. You know, Black Knight and Firepower and High Speed, all that. I could make another driving game. Okay, driving. What's that?
You did Terminator 3 for Stern.
I did. You're right, but that's because they didn't really own that trademark. It was loaned to them for 5 years or something. They could make games until then, and you know, it belonged to the movie producers. And
So what would be your fantasy license?
I could tell you, but I have to kill every single person in this room. Now, I'm not allowed to talk about it, but I'm very excited about it. This is a game that's going to come out in just about 2010, and it's a title that no one even knows about, and it's a bit of a gamble, but it's awesome. I think it's a good gamble. Did I answer the question? Did I answer the question? Damn it. Okay. Wait.
As much as you could without getting in trouble.
Oh, did I? Okay, if I had to make a sequel, I guess it would be a driving sequel called Very High Speed.
You'd mentioned that something about Pinball 2000, and that was, although I own one and love it, it's a case of not the most successful experiment done with pinball. Are there any things like Pinball 2000 that are a little bit different, that some experimentation that Stern, anybody's looking at doing that might be a little different approach to pinball that's on the drawing board?
So that's Brian's 1,000-word question.
Is the question about new formats?
Yeah, any new formats, like Pinball 2000 didn't do that well, but are there any new formats on the drawing board?
Formats are risky. It's like formats, Pinball 2000. I don't have a very popular view. Well, let's say that my opinion isn't very popular about Pinball 2000. I think it was an interesting, okay, it was like a whole bunch of my best friends in the world struggling to do something to make pinball work. But it added $600 of cost to the game, and it just killed it. It didn't help us. I mean, it helped us for a short time, and it was good. And I was out of it, but I left before that struggle because I couldn't stand to be involved in the death of pinball at Williams. That would have been awful. I would have been more depressed than getting fired from Atari, say. And I did. They came in my office one day and they said, "You're fired." And I go, "Wow, what did I do, Dan? This is like a 10-foot tall Dan Van Elderen dude, the constant president of Atari, die a horrible death. We'd lose money. And then somebody else would come in and he would go, 'Can I be president again?' Because, oh yeah, you're the big dude, so you can be the president again." Anyway, that's kind of rude, but that's my feelings about it. Do we have any other questions?
Yeah. What are your thoughts on the wider pinball games, and would you ever want to make another one again?
On wide bodies?
Yes.
Okay, well, they're like, my innovation to wide body machines, I can say this because I probably did more than anybody else. It's just because of the way things worked out. I was at Atari, and then I did, I think 3. Well, my opinion is this. I think when the slingshots are closed up at the bottom, that's okay. The bottom plays nice. But you think about the flipper angle, and how much power is available at each one of those angles. There's a place close to the shaft of the flipper, okay, where you shoot early and it's kind of weak, and it'll go back this way. We're talking about the right flipper, right? If you do it weak, it'll go that way, but it won't be real strong. And as you go this way, it gets stronger and stronger, and then at some point at the very end of the stroke, again, the power's not there either. So there's a sweet spot where the power of the flipper can get a ball to somewhere you want it to go. It's pretty hard to get the flipper to go. And the more precise you have to be, everybody in this room knows this, the more precise you have to be at those ends. In the middle, I don't know, there's like a big space there where you can smack and it's going to go to this one shot. It's like, you can wire that easy, but at the ends. Anyway, wide bodies kind of, they don't lend themselves to the best shots. They do make for one or two more things and lots of room for toys. It's real estate, but my real estate expansion has always been a second level, maybe made of plexiglass or whatever, so I can avoid that. I can have my extra stuff and not have to use a wide body design.
How many pins do you have at home?
I have one, Spider-Man, a black Spider-Man. And the reason why is I live in California and we have earthquakes, we have no basement. I have lived in other houses where I could have pinballs. The house before this, 10 years ago, I had 7 or 8. But I don't have a place to put them, and I don't think Diana would like that much either if we put them in the living room, I think. Some guy wrote me, God, I have 18 pinball machines and I need room for one more. And I told him, you got to talk to your wife about bunk beds because if you both sleep in bunk, you could fit probably a couple more there with the bunk beds. He didn't think it was funny. Anyway, yes, sir.
This is going back about 28 years, but have you ever played Bally Skateball, and what do you think of that game?
What do you think of Bally Skateball?
I've seen it 1,000 times, but I can't picture it. It's like it's Claude Fernandez. I know that, and I don't know. Okay.
Similarities with Flash. There were similarities with Flash.
Don't go there. Claude Fernandez, similarity, plagiarism. I can think of 100 words.
When you create these games, you've created so many. As a designer, I'm sure you get really attached to them, but under the employment of a large company, is that just basically, I guess, your job expectation is to create these games and turn it over to the company, or are you allowed to take some kind of ownership from the day that game is completed until the future, I guess? I don't.
Just about allowing me to take the game and design all the way to the end. Is that what you're talking about?
Well, and then to tie yourself to that game then on. I'm sure if somebody, designs a certain Maserati or something, do they just say, okay, I work for Maserati, here's the car I designed for you, here's my paycheck and my bonus, or are you allowed any kind of tie to that game as I don't know if owner is the right word, but as a designer, the rights to it from any time on after turning that completed game over to the manufacturing company for which you work?
Okay, what sort of rights?
Well, I don't know. That's kind of why I'm asking. Or is it just an
employee of a pinball company? If you're a designer for a pinball company, you are expected to make pinball designs, and it's well known to me and to the pinball company. I mean, this is one of their first things. They said the game is owned by them, and rightly so. I'm making it for them. They're paying me to make it. I do have ancillary rights to some things for other products. Like there were some Black Knight products made, and they have to give me something every time they make a Black Knight product, and some other ancillary rights at Williams. I don't have any of those rights at Stern because they're really not being utilized. Although maybe in the next contract I might ask for that.
Okay, that was exactly my question I was asking.
Right.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Faster. Move faster. No, I'm kidding.
Yes, sir. Here I am. Okay.
I'll try to keep this simple. I have a question about doing creative work in a technical field. You've got a lot of limitations as far as mechanics, software, things to work that can work for you or against you. I wondered how your how that affects your creative process. Do you work to the limitations of the equipment? You work within them, or do you try to push them? How does it interact with your creativity?
I don't think about the limitations. I think about the opportunities around the limitations. And also limitations are like, some limitations are really dumbass. Okay, here's one. Gary goes, only spring plungers on all games. That's why World Poker Tour has a plunger to go this far. I mean, damn. He wouldn't let us put an electric plunger because he's got a thing against them. It's kind of silly, but it's his company, so okay, Gary. All games have to have 3 thumper bumpers. If you had 2 and they played deluxe, he'd still be pissed. Okay, that's it. If it played beautiful, there's personalities involved. Hopefully, there's only a couple people that have the power to do anything. Or let's say what is it? I don't know, the endurance. Because they wanted to take Doc Ock out of Spider-Man. Okay, how can you take Doc Ock out of Spider-Man? You can't. You just can't. There was a whole movie about Doc Ock, but they never watched the movies. He paid for the license and he never watched the movies. Ray Tanzer didn't until I told him to go rent them because I want you on my side, dude. But the rest of us that watched the movies and saw them and said, hey, we got to have Spider-Man. We're looking at these people like, you're nuts, okay? And Gary really didn't know. We had a big screaming fight over it, but it came out that way, and I found a way to take some other money out to afford this 4th character because there's a lot of negotiation in making a pinball machine, no doubt. And you have to be, you have to be nice, but you also have to be strong if you want to, keep your stuff or make something special. There's always somebody ready to pee on it. I pee on George's games regularly. He say, hey, what do you think about my new game? Well, it sucks, man. It sucks. I really don't do that, though. I like games, and I tell people that I like them. Or I could be blunt also and say, dude, this sucks, okay, this one part right here. But, they do it to me, too. We need that. At Williams and at Stern to a degree. Nah, not at Stern. Because they're not there, and I'm not there either. John Borg and I, we're good friends, but we don't have a huge relationship about how pinballs go, and I'm not there a lot, and so I don't have much input on his game, and he doesn't have much on mine. But in the end, also, people often are too polite to say, what they really think about a game. I'm not, and when you get old, you don't care anymore. You just go, blurt, your feelings are hurt, No, I don't do that. I do not do that. I don't do that, but I will tell people honestly, and I hope they're telling me honestly. At Williams, everybody was bluntly honest. Larry especially. Larry, come in. Your game's a piece of firewood, man. Okay, great. Yeah. Hey, what's wrong with it? The whole thing sucks. I hate Flash. I hate it. He was like 19 years old when he came to Williams. He endeared himself to me right then, from then on. Anyway, no, I don't want to speak bad about Larry DeMar. Larry DeMar is another brilliant pinball guy with huge contributions to our game. The high speed is like as much his as it is in mine, and there's no question about it. And maybe you don't recognize that, you can't see it, but there's huge contributions. Firepower is just as much Eugene Jarvis's as it is mine, no question. All the long nights working on it and freaking out about how happy we were. We were happy when we played the game because we knew it was something special months before it had to come out, And we wanted to be the first with speech, but they put it on Gorgar, and that's cool. We had recorded speech, and that was all right. But it had a great deal of breakthrough, a great deal of excitement involved with making it. It's 1 in 5 games is like that. I have to say, unfortunately.
Thank you.
And blah, 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 blah. You ready to eat yet? I love talking to a hungry audience.
This isn't a question.
Sir.
I just wanted to tell you that my employees call the upper right flipper on a pin the Ritchie flipper, and they call the upper left one the Lawler flipper.
I'm honored, and I'm sure Pat will be too.
So I have 2 questions because I have a Black Knight 2000 and a Star Trek. Number 1 is, how many loop shots have you made from the Skyway loop on Black Knight 2000? What's your personal best?
I don't know. I think like maybe 8 or 9, somewhere in there.
Okay, and then when you designed Star Trek, did the return lane, the whole issue with that being really hard, and then the ball going on the out lane, does that piss you off? Did you do that on purpose?
I hate you, dude. I'm going to see you after this whole thing here. Actually, I wasn't happy about how Star Trek turned out. It's like, but I had to build these big giant slingshots in order to hold the motor and all the parts underneath, and it was like, there was a time when I really regretted putting those 2 cannons there, but then when you shoot the cannons, it's from an awesome position in the game, and they had to be there. It was cool. I tried to fix the drains, but I couldn't do anything that wouldn't like extend the ball time to some extreme, and I'm constantly being beat up for that. There's a guy, though, in Holland who's making these stainless steel things that attach and kind of close the lanes up, and I can see the purists right now already sneering, going, I'm never doing that in my game. That's how Steve made it. Okay, so, all right, so don't do it. But, I mean, if you want to be a glutton for punishment and lose your ball over and over again, you could also just take a big nail and pound it in the drain lane and never drain, and constant Star Trek pleasure. This was a lot of fun, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Thanks for having me. I very much appreciate you inviting me. Okay.
All right, guys. So we got some trivia questions. Steve has signed some of pinball flyers that he has done, and so here we go. All right, here I'll share this with you here. So, first question. What 3 companies has Steve designed pinballs for? We need all 3. Who had their hand up first? Did you see him?
I don't know.
Or you got to pick
I
someone.
should start over.
Hands down. Ready? Go.
Dude in the black shirt, I think.
That would be Atari, Williams, and Stern.
That's right.
That's
right.
exactly right.
Come on up. Actually, some of these we don't have signed yet, so
I have to sign stuff.
you may have to sign some stuff here.
Actually, we'll do that in a minute. Actually, no, you want that? Right.
All right. Next question. How fast was Steve going when he got pulled over by the police in his Porsche?
She was first.
120?
What'd she say?
120.
No, she's wrong.
No.
I'm sorry.
Blue shirt? 165.
Nope.
Nope.
He knows.
110. 110.
It's on the back glass, guys. The red shirt
There's your
knows.
clue.
148. That's right.
There we go.
No, actually it's 146, but
Is that close? That's close. All right. We got the Ritchie approval on that
who's
one.
gonna get it? I hate
The
that.
official answer is 146, and it's on the back
I
glass.
believe it might be 147 or 148, maybe.
All right, question number 3. What was the first game with a lane change? First game with a lane change.
She had her hand up first. That's right.
Firepower.
That's right.
There we go.
I want to ask that last question.
Okay, last question is the bonus question.
This is a bonus question. This is like the other questions from the other seminars where nobody could get it. Maybe somebody will. Here it is. This is the whole question. What is the difference between a chicken?
Say again?
A pencil because a vest has no sleeves.
A pencil because a vest has no sleeves.
It's a good answer, but it's not right. It's not right. One of its legs is both the same. That's the answer. All right.
All right. So now we have what you all been waiting for, the $50 raffle tickets for the Black Limited Edition Spider-Man. The Spider-Man that you've seen is part of his whole picture. You've seen the Spider-Man. It's out on the tournament section. And Steve's already said he's been willing to bless it, kiss it, sign it, pee on it, whatever you'd like.
Anything you want.
How many tickets total? Did we get to 100? 89. 89 tickets have been sold.
Good odds, actually.
That's very good odds.
Here we go. Stop looking. Whoa. Well, I can't make out the name on the back. The number is 287-8070. 287-8070. Keith Nelson. Wow, dude, congratulations, man. Oh, we're going to fight, huh?
What?
We're going to fight, aren't we?
We're gonna fight, for
Okay,
sure.
all right. Let's have a picture. We got a picture right now. Awesome. That's for Pin Game Journal.
I appreciate that.